welcome to our Energy Connect studio at Gastech 2023. I'm delighted to have sitting next to me Sarah Bairstow, President and CCO of Mexico Pacific. Sarah, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, thank you, it's a pleasure.
Now, to start off, could you just give me a brief introduction about yourself and your history in the gas and LNG industry?
Sure. So I've been in the industry for over 20 years now. Don't judge me for it, but I started as an energy projects lawyer in the LNG and oil and gas space back in the day with Ashurst. So cut my teeth there across sort of project development and ultimately moved into the Gladstone LNG project. And I joined that at a very early stage and was there for around 10 years while we then moved it through to operations. So a really great way to see from concept through to operations and primarily Asia Pacific focused. And I then moved over to Mexico Pacific. I think we saw a really unique opportunity to take the learnings of Asia Pacific traditional markets and equally apply a lot of the innovation that was coming out of the Gulf Coast, but doing it on the west coast of Mexico. So I've been there for coming up 5 years now. So it's been a big journey, but glad to be here.
Oh, thanks, Sarah. Fascinating, and thanks for giving me a bit of the history of yourself. Now, let's focus on Mexico Pacific. Can you tell me a bit more about some of the recent good news that you've announced? I'd like to hear more about, Trains 1 and 2 are sold out. Hear more about Train 3 and some of your plans, and then maybe a bit about when FID happens, what's next?
Yeah, no, there's been a lot of really exciting activity. And as you know, these things take many, many years. We're private, so we've been a little discreet by design, but there's certainly a lot of great news coming out of the project. Fundamentally, our project is really leveraging the Permian Basin. So, that very low cost, very big gas basin there in the US, and liquefying it on the west coast of Mexico, much closer to Asian markets. So I think it's really the fundamentals there that have driven us to have the success we've had today. It's a three train project, 5 million tons per train, and we're taking FID on the first 2 trains this year. With Train 3 to follow very closely. So it's been really great to be able to announce our customer base. We've sold out of Train 1 and Train 2 now with,
Congrats.
Thank you, with the big 3 super majors, Exxon, Shell and ConocoPhillips, who are equally really big Permian and US natural gas players, which is really great. And then our other 2 customers, Julian Energia and Guangzhou Gas. So that's rounded out all of Train 1, Train 2. We're now in the financing process through to FID and hope to get there in Q4. And then Train 3, many of those customers have doubled down and continue to grow with us, which we're incredibly appreciative of. We've got a great relationship with them. And we're now at a point where we really only have 1 million tons left on Train 3. So I think there's going to be even more great news to come in the very short term and multiple trains in construction shortly.
Great. Yes, I was going to come on to that. I mean, obviously it could be, Train 4, 5 and 6. Would you be looking, obviously you can't comment on specific customers, but would you be looking at new customers or seeing, what the demand is out there, I assume? Yeah,
look, I think that from a customer's selection perspective, like any LNG producer, you seek to diversify a little bit, but it's very hard to look at the customers we have today and particularly their ability to grow with us, to look too far beyond that. So we have some really interesting negotiations underway for that final 1 million tons. We've got about 10 million tons of very advanced negotiations to cover that at the moment. So, we've got a lot of growth ahead of us. Over time, I'm sure we'll bring more customers into the mix, but we'll see on that last 1 million tons.
Well, all the best for that. And one thing that the audience might be interested to hear is, what's actually the capacity of Mexico Pacific's LNG facility then?
So the initial phase of the project, the first 3 trains, will be 15 million tons in total. And then obviously those first 2 trains, so they're 5 million apiece for the initial FID of 10 million tons.
Great. Now, what about direct investment in Mexico? I want to hear maybe a bit more about that and what you're doing there.
Yeah, that's a really exciting part of our project. We have worked very closely with the Mexican government, and we've enjoyed a lot of really great support from both the president, the governors, and equally the people within the communities that we work within. We'll be bringing approximately $14 billion of investment into the region, which will be the largest foreign private investment to date into Mexico. So it's a really exciting part of the project. but something that we work hand in hand with the government to make sure that we've got their support there in doing that.
That's really great to hear, Sarah. And how will you bring gas to Sonora?
Yeah, so there's multiple pipelines that exist today that take Permian gas from the US across our site, actually. And that capacity is held by one of our project partners, CFE, in Mexico. So we have those existing pipelines, but for us, gas flow assurance and certainty is key, as it is for all of our customers. So we will build a dedicated pipeline from Waha in the Permian through Texas and then across the states of Chihuahua and Sonora to the site. So that will be approximately 2.8 BCF a day, which gives us a lot of redundancy beyond the first 3 trains to make sure that we've got the adequate capacity there to meet our customers' needs.
Wow, I mean, we're in September, but as you said, looking for Q4 on your train 3. Busy times ahead, so a bright future for Mexico Pacific then.
It is. I mean, we've got a lot of great growth plans ahead of us. So I think for us, as soon as we're taking train 1 and 2 FID, we're really moving straight onto growth.
Very interesting, Sarah. Could you also touch on some of the growth plans Mexico Pacific has over the next couple of years?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we have an incredibly special asset location there on the west coast of Mexico. For us, leveraging the Permian and that near point to Asia, we can deliver the lowest cost of LNG globally. So we have phenomenal growth availability and opportunity ahead of us. We'll take these initial FIDs this year and then train 3 early next year, but we already have plans underway for trains 4, 5 and 6. We own a lot of land there on the coastline and have had really great support from our customers to date. We've sold 50% of the options on train 4, 5 and 6. So as soon as we take FID, we'll really start moving our focus then to executing against those growth projects.
That's interesting, and on tandem to that, I assume you'll be increasing your workforce then?
Absolutely. I think it will be a material increase in workforce, you can put it that way, post-FID.
Great. And just before we go, we're here at Gastech in Singapore. What's the importance of having a show like this in Asia?
It is so foundational to so much of what we do. I think we've been really blown away by the level of attendance. We have been big fans of Gastech for a very long time, but the level of people that are really coming through the conference, I don't think anyone's really experienced it before. So it's been a really great opportunity to get all of those really key customers, key vendors, all of those people together for us. But equally, for our project, particularly being a private company, it's been a really great way to showcase what we're doing as essentially a great stage to the world in that regard.
Well, that's great to hear. And obviously comes to Houston next year.
Yes, we're very excited about Houston. I think we'll be a key sponsor there, so we'll look forward to seeing you there.
Absolutely. Well, Sarah, I just appreciate you giving me your time today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thanks everyone for watching, and I look forward to bringing you more studio interviews from the show floor in the coming days.